All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Jordan Stupar, the host of the Jordan Stupar Show, and today I'm just absolutely jacked out of my mind. I've got an amazing guest joining me here who I'll introduce in just a quick second, but first I want to remind you guys that I work really hard on this show, and I try to bring as many, cool and talented, awesome people on here, and I try to bring as much value as I possibly can. So if you enjoy this show, if we do a decent job, I just ask that you share it with somebody, shoot it over to a family member, somebody that you like, maybe somebody you don't like, who knows, but somebody else that might get a little bit of value. And of course, make sure you find us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you find this podcast, and drop us a like, a subscription, a comment, something nice. Let's spread some love. But anyway, with all that, I've got a really cool guest in the office, in the building here today, and his name is Christopher Bennett. How you doing, Chris?
I'm great, Jordan. How you doing, sir?
Dude, I couldn't be better, man. I'm excited that you're here, bro.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, dude, it's been we've known each other for, I want to say 2016, 2017-ish.
Yep.
We jumped on a coaching call back in the day.
Yeah, you actually got me the last position I had that kind of started this whole thing in motion. So thank you.
Yeah, well, dude, of course, no problem. And thank you for paying me for that.
Absolutely.
You kind of got my feet wet when I became an entrepreneur and started helping sales folks. So I know that you've had some good results there. But I'm not really here to talk to you about all of that. What I'm mostly interested in is a couple of things. I know that you've had a career change recently after a pretty good chunk of time at that last company you were at. And I know that I've got something I'm going to showcase here from your wife that's actually really exciting, and I can't wait to try that live.
Awesome.
And give you guys some feedback. But the main reason why I wanted to bring you in is I wanted you to help explain to me. I'm 34. I'm part of that age bracket. I'm a millennial. I'm somebody that should really understand way more than I do about cryptocurrency. And these days, man, I jump on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere, and it's Bitcoin to the moon, Dogecoin to the moon. There's coins popping up all over the place. There's Coinbase. There's Uphold. There's Robinhood that you can kind of just start digging into, and it's for me, I just figured out where the internet is. I just figured out where that is, and now it's all of these coins and cryptocurrencies and things that people are raging about and whatever. It's on the blockchain, but is that on the internet? Is it its own thing? There's just so many questions I have. So I was hoping that you might be able to, in your expertise, because you're a successful investor in it. You're part of a team that does really well. And every time I talk to you, you're dropping me some hints and stuff, but I can never really track with it because I don't know the basics.
Sure.
So tell me, how did you, get into crypto or become interested in something like that?
So I believe it was 2017 around February. I just got my first big commission check from the job that you helped me get. And okay. I was like, well, what do I do with this, right? Do I put it into real estate? Do I put it into the stock market? By chance, I happened to get a webinar invitation for a guy named Tika Tawari. And I got on his webinar and I listened for 90 minutes on, what crypto is and the opportunities that are available. And it kind of lit the fire for us. And so for us, the opportunity was, I understood that if you buy something low or undervalued, and if there's a reason for it to increase in value, if you bought it low, you could sell it high, you're going to make money from that. So that was the kind of the introduction to crypto for us.
Okay. That makes sense.
And so there was my friend Curtis Moore, Tony Cruz, and then my wife, Laura, all kind of went in and spent $3,000 to pay for information that would make us more money.
Okay, so you jumped in an educational course or class or mastermind or something like that, so you could get the information from people who had it, just similar to what I'm doing right now.
Correct.
Okay, so you jump into crypto with $3,000, or a bunch of you guys do. Mm-hmm. What was your first purchase? Was it Bitcoin?
No, it was Chainlink and XRP.
Okay, I'm familiar with XRP. Is that also called Ripple?
Yes, correct.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You're a pro. You're ready. Dangerous.
Following you on your stories, I'm starting to kind of put like 1 and 1, 2 together,
Yeah.
But okay, so you started with Link Chain?
That's called Chainlink. So everybody's heard of
Chainlink.
Ethereum, right?
Okay.
So Ethereum, Chainlink's connected to Ethereum. It's like its little brother.
Okay.
And so Ethereum at the time had already run up to, a few $100, $300-400. And I'd seen it maybe back in 2012 or something. It was like $16, and I didn't know anything about crypto then. And I bought it and I sold it within like a day. I didn't know anything about it. And so I didn't want to spend $500 on, a coin. Right. Chainlink was available for $3 and was also being recommended by this guru who's done nothing but prove results. Yeah. Right. And that coin now is trading at like $20 to $30.
So, yeah, that's a nice return, assuming that you held.
My wife did. I didn't hold mine, and that's one of the challenges with crypto. There's always a new opportunity.
Exactly.
And I was new at the time, so I fell victim to what we call squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I guess because there's probably plenty of people out there like me that are like, dude, I have money. I would probably invest in crypto. But like, where do I get started? I think maybe the first conversation to have, now that we've kind of gotten a little bit of your background, how long you've been doing it, is, dude, how the hell does any of this stuff work?
The short answer is some works well and some works terribly, right?
Right, of course.
So one of the rules, so let me tell you the rules first, the rules of crypto.
Give me the rules.
So rule number 1 is never invest more than you're willing to lose.
Right.
Rule 1.
Rule 1.
So I've heard people, mortgage their houses, take out loans, like just do crazy things to go invest in some of these meme coins, or excuse my language, shit coins.
Yeah.
And there's people that have won. People on my team have won, made $60,000, $70,000 in a 2-day period. However, that's also not duplicatable, right? Because it's based on hype and chat rooms and all these things that are not solid.
Right.
So rule 1 is never invest any more than you're willing to lose.
Okay.
Rule 2 is make sure your coin or whatever project you picked has a use case. It's got to solve a problem or do something for a business, a bank, a government, something.
Okay. See, I see that a lot with like, there's a new coin that's released or hyped up or whatever, and it does X, Y, and Z. They help plant more trees or, whatever. Like there's probably a ton of different ways that you could create a coin or whatever, but we'll get to that in a second. So there has to be a use case for the coin.
Yes.
Okay.
An example of a use case. So my favorite coin, XRP, which you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
So there's a thing called SWIFT where countries that trade in oil, they use something called the SWIFT payment network.
Sure.
Okay.
Like a SWIFT code?
Yeah.
You had to wire money or whatever?
Yeah, but let's say we're countries that don't get along. Let's say Russia and China as an example.
Right.
You don't trust me, I don't trust you. How are we going to do business?
Right.
So what typically happens is China it's called pre-funding. So they put hundreds of millions of dollars into an account.
Right.
Russia puts hundreds of millions of dollars into an account.
Yep.
A third party verifies that everybody's got their money in the account.
Right.
By the way, that third party gets paid.
Of course.
Right.
Broker's fee.
Yep. The transaction takes 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you've also got to pre-fund it with hundreds of millions of dollars. So your money that could be in use other places is now sitting, kind of just waiting for it to go through its process.
Right.
It's expensive and timely.
Yeah.
XRP makes it instant and fraction of a dollar.
And super secure.
It's secure. And so that's probably the biggest thing. And so the security of the network, the blockchain. And I don't want to get super technical.
Yeah.
But banks like Bank of England, Bank of America partnered with XRP back in 2014 to help build out the infrastructure for what's coming, which we'll talk about next, is the new financial system. And just tons of International Monetary Fund also gave the stamp of approval. So all these big banks have created networks on the low, in private and secret for the last few years to unleash, which is what they're doing now. And so the benefit for us is having been an early investor. As the price appreciates because the use case picks up, there's a limited amount. It's got to be, a certain dollar value to cover what it's doing. That's where the financial reward would come for an investor like myself.
Okay. So I'm understanding that, and then I just because I like to be pretty thorough. All of this, 100% of crypto is located on the blockchain.
Correct.
Is that the same blockchain? Like, somebody came up, coded out the blockchain, made a hyper secure, non-traceable thing, whatever, can't be hacked or whatever, is everything on that blockchain, or is there like, hey, I could build my own blockchain?
So you can build off of the blockchain. It's kind of like the internet, like where like HTTP.
Sure.
There's super smart code, and I'm not super smart in that way, right?
Me neither.
I just know that it works and it's secure. The thing that people like about crypto is it's currently not under government control.
Right.
As an example, if you put $100 into the bank, right, the bank's going to lend out $9 for every $1 you put out.
That's a fact.
Which depletes the value of your money, and then they just keep printing and printing and printing. And so that's kind of a flawed system. So that's where an honest system where there's checks and balances, where the money's got to be there or there's no transaction to do. That's what excites people like me about crypto.
Yep, I hear that big time. Okay, so now we're getting the foundations here. I'm starting to feel edumacated. So, all right, now the next question that I kind of have is like, how the hell are there so many coins popping up? And like, and follow-up question to that, because that's probably an easy answer, is how could somebody know, and maybe there's not a good answer for this, but how could somebody know, maybe somebody that's more educated like you that has a little bit of history, some experience, how could you best know which one to maybe get involved in as early as possible, hoping to make that run, quote unquote, to the moon, like everyone says?
So that's the worst phrase in crypto. I hate it. It's cheesy. No one's going to the moon. No, that's not true. I mean, there are things that will do really well. We call it exponential growth, okay, or asymmetric growth, okay. That's kind of the professional verbiage. The amateurs over here, and I'll let you know the kind of the knowledge level of the person you're talking to. If they're screaming to the moon about everything, then they're new and they're excited, which is cool.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you need to get more educated. So options for education, right? You can go to YouTube. The problem with that is there's so many people talking about crypto. Who's credible? Who's not, right? That's the thing. And so by paying for information, that we paid for a guy who's got, a 10-year track record. So we knew the information was credible, and then through that, we got introduced to other people who have a track record to now where we know to go to our 2, 3, 4, 5 people for the right information.
Yep.
So you're always getting the best information.
Yep.
I will caution, it requires a lot of study.
I believe it.
Meaning you can just leave. We leave our investments in place, but the market changes so fast. There's no one's going to be an expert because it just moves so fast.
Right.
Which is why I have a team, Curtis, Tony, we're watching 2 to 4 hours of video a day.
Wow.
Just on the industry, the whole economy, because it's not just crypto. It's like what's the economy doing?
Right.
Right. Crypto is cool for a speculative part, but for me, I like it because it's one way for regular people to make money.
Yeah.
In the future, right? The world's crazy. Jobs and the government, just everything's crazy. But also too, the things like real estate are going to be tokenized in crypto. The world's going to get faster, right? So you gotta stay abreast to what's happening, and you can't do that by yourself, which is why I recommend having a team and paying the right people for good information.
For the right information.
Because then once you have the right people to go to, you just go back to the same well.
Exactly.
And the information's been reliable based on past results.
Yep.
Right? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
100%.
Same time, we stay vigilant, because if it is broken, we are fixing it very, very quickly.
Yeah, I believe that. And one of the other things that I think attracts me to crypto, because I'm a hustler, I try to stay awake as much as I can, because, you can make money while you sleep. I've learned how to do that, but at the exact same time, you can continue growing and such. But, crypto, I learned, just going into Robinhood for the first time, like, dude, it never stops. Like, that market is open 24 hours a day. You can invest. You can take your money back out, put it somewhere else. Like, you can make theoretically unlimited amount of money moves while other people are sleeping at night.
Correct. However, taxation, that's what's coming next. So that's what we're focused on as a team. Taxes. Yep. Everybody's uncle's made, $50,000 off of Bitcoin,
right.
$1 million off of Doge, meme coins, right, Shiba, whatever. But are you paying your taxes? Do you have that 35% set aside for Uncle Sam when he comes knocking? And Uncle Sam right now is trying to figure out, how do I track what everybody's doing?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of transactions that happen. And so if you're not vigilant, you made $1 million, but it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And because you've misstepped, your $1 million is now $300,000, because you should have kept 5, but because you made some mistakes, you owe an extra 2 in penalties.
Damn.
And that's just obviously a hypothetical situation, but it is coming. And so for us, we're researching, I'm paying a tax crypto specialist $250 in December to meet with me to talk about all my transactions on all the exchanges, what I've done.
Wow.
because I've also taken crypto money and converted it. So crypto for me is just it's a tool. And so for me, I converted to things like real estate, right? So I took crypto that I made money on and put it into another asset.
Got it.
So
and that helps some tax deferment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you put it into an asset and they're getting, so as in real estate, like if you sold a property and you bought a property of equal or higher value, they call it 1031 exchange.
Yep.
You can take that equity or whatever and go and buy another property, provided it's done the right way and not pay taxes.
Yep.
Right now. Most people in crypto are taking their money and they're going and buying a car. They're buying, taking their kids to Disney World. They're doing
that Instagram lifestyle.
Instagram lifestyle, right? So it's, instead of, buying more assets, they're buying liabilities. So now they have to go and speculate again in crypto, rinse, repeat. And that's one type of investor. That's probably the most common type.
That's what I see
of
probably
investor.
more than anything.
Yep.
You're always talking about just flipping a profit over here, boom, pushing it right into something like multifamily with your other team or maybe the same team, I'm not sure. But I always see you doing that. And obviously you're on maybe not the fast track for the Instagram lifestyle, but the Instagram lifestyle that probably everybody wants to see and is attracted to is no doubt in the pipe for you because you're making all the smart decisions right now.
For sure. And one thing that's kind of a team motto is there'll be maybe one or two Instagram stunts when the whole game's kind of concluded, but you won't see most of what we've done. It'll be very quiet.
Yeah.
Just because it's just you have to do it that way. It's just a style to it, in my opinion.
Hey, man,
each his own though, right?
You got to move in silence, man.
So
I'm not really attracted to people that make a big noise about stuff and like just sell hype.
Yeah.
I like people that actually, put in the work, get the results, maybe show a thing or two here, whatever. But, I see you obviously doing a really good job, but, it always keeps me interested because it's not, I just don't know how good you're winning.
Yeah. You're like, what's going on over there? Is he doing okay?
Exactly. So I find from a standpoint of maybe me paying you for some advice, I mean, that would be a go-to because now I'm interested in like, dude, what do you really got going on over there? Like, is it really working
what's
out?
under the hood?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, that all makes sense. Now, as far as, and this plagued me for a long time because I didn't have Coinbase. I know that's probably the most popular like app or thing that people use. I didn't really know how that differed a whole lot than Robinhood or Uphold. I think you turned me on to as well.
Yep.
What are some of the pros and cons, things to look at when it comes to, I guess, your purse? Is that what you would call it? Your
wallet?
Your wallet, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do those things differ? And, what are maybe the pros and cons, or how do you know which one is like the right app for you that's going to give you the most, options or ability to experience the growth that you're looking for in crypto?
So I would start with Robinhood is not, just an opinion, Robinhood's not a great crypto platform. They're known for stocks and so forth.
Yep.
And I've also had friends who, when there was a big AMC and Doge, AMC pump,
capped.
They got capped and they lost, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 in profit because of the system Robinhood locking up because they were going to go broke because everybody else was also winning.
Exactly.
Huge problem.
Yep.
Right. So
it's like criminal.
Yeah. So they should be charges against them, but how that works, right?
Yeah, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So instead of that, I just don't do business with them, right? I closed all my brokerage accounts with them.
Yep.
I don't really buy stocks anyway. The ones I had are gone.
Yep.
So Coinbase though is kind of the gold standard, if you will. So what I look for is how fast can I get my money back? First question, right? When I buy any asset, what's the exit? If things go wrong, how are we getting out? Yep. First rule: we go to a movie theater, right? Where's the exit doors at, right?
Exactly.
So
it's important.
On an airplane, where the exits at, right?
Yeah.
So with apps like Coinbase and Uphold, they have debit cards. So now I've got a Visa, MasterCard logo where I can convert any of my cryptos and instantly put it on a card for liquidity, so that I can swipe it if I need it for whatever, groceries, buying a car. Whatever you're doing, you can do that. That's one option. The other option is how fast can I get it back and forth between my bank account and the crypto wallet exchange.
Okay. And how fast, with the debit card, it's coming straight out of like Ethereum or something and going straight into USD at the swipe.
Yeah, so there's a few things. So you're getting like there's a transaction fee, right? So you're paying to play, right?
Sure.
There's everybody gets paid. Coinbase gets a little sliver.
Of course.
Visa gets a little sliver, right? But ultimately you get to spend, 98% of your money how you want to spend it.
Nice.
without having to transfer it back to a bank, which can take between 1 to 3 days, depending on the bank and the exchange, right? So if you have an emergency, you need the cash, how are you going to get to it? A lot of exchanges, you can't get to it. So Abra is great for, it's a great exchange for interest accounts.
Okay.
So if you want to use it like a savings account, as an example, there's this coin called XLM that pays you, 4% to keep it there. There's another coin called USDT, which is similar to like a US dollar. It's dollar for dollar, where you can make 9%. So right now in your bank, most banks are getting what, 0.01%, if that.
Maybe like 0.2.
Bankers pumped up to tell you can get you into a 1% account, but you got to give them like $3 million or something, right?
Yeah, right.
So Abra is great for kind of holding your coins as a bank account. They're not great with back and forth transactions. They're kind of a little bit slower.
Got it.
Coinbase is kind of getting the gold standard, and Uphold is a great one as well. That's probably my favorite. When there was some challenges within the industry, Coinbase shut out a few coins. Uphold allowed those coins to still operate because they knew the coins were legit and operating in good faith and all that stuff. So I respect them immensely for stepping up.
I got it.
So,
and that kind of reminds me of, man, I forget that there was like that Squid Game show that came out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing on the Ball Busters IG account where they, they bust balls of people that are fraudulent or whatever.
Yep.
And I saw that some group of guys or whatever, they got together, started like mass hyping this like Squid Game coin in crypto. And it like immediately had that exponential growth, that huge, thing on the graph that everybody wants to be a part of.
To the moon.
Straight up to the moon. And like, boom, they shut it down, like took all the investment money or whatever like that. It was this huge scam. Is there a good way of figuring out, like, when that type of thing happens, like, hey, stay the hell away from those guys? Or is it kind of just like...
So I get invited to all these Facebook groups where it's all about hype, right? Let's get everybody, to get all the new investors hyped up, right? Most of those coins, if you look, you go back to rule number 2, which is make sure your coin has a use case. None of them do anything. So if you go abide by that rule, what's this thing do other than make the founders money? Nothing.
Got it.
That's a huge clue. Rug pools are very common, so that Squid Game costs people millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Rug pool, foomp, founders disappear, your money's gone, no one you can call.
Adios.
Adios.
That's freaking wild.
Yes.
That's wild. All right, so they're outside of being in the right group of people, the right network of people that can communicate and say, hey, like, we're going to be cautious on this one. Maybe it's not the real deal, or I don't see a use case for it. Have you found one? No, I haven't. Hey, we're staying the hell away from this one.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, so rule number 2, always have a use case on your coin.
Yep, and rule number 3 is always have a plan. Why are you even in crypto?
Right.
What are you doing here? Are you here to make, your college fund for your kid? Are you going on vacation? Stunting from the gram? Like, what are you doing here, right? Us, we're building generational wealth.
Yep.
It's a little bit different where we take the crypto money. So it starts with sales, though, right? So it starts with your earned income, whether you're in sales or just have a regular job. None of that works unless you have earned income.
Yep.
Because if you have nothing to convert, you have nothing to convert, right?
Exactly.
So, but again, having a plan and then also being patient, right? You don't want to necessarily look at your accounts every day, although we all kind of do anyway, right? If you have a lot. I get
see
that.
What's going on with
you want to see what's going on, but you can set alerts and reminders and different things so you don't always have to be looking at your phone
obsessed
with it.
Yeah.
However, I will say once you start making some wins, you'll pay attention more. I get it; it's natural, right?
Yeah.
But your wife or your husband, at some point, they're going to get mad. So I would recommend in the beginning to set some alerts, right? Or set your time where you're going to focus on studying and learning crypto and then kind of adhere to that.
I love it. Now, obviously, I think the crypto game, I think it probably gave you, and your sales skills, and more on that in a second. But I think crypto, it felt like to me, I know that you had a bit of a falling out with your previous company because of some vaccination mandate that they put you up against. I haven't really talked to anybody really that has voluntarily left because they didn't want to get the shot or the jab or whatever. What's that like, man? Working for a company for 4 or 5 years like you did, you were a top performer. It's not like you were lower 10%, like, hey, let's get another reason to get this guy off the team. Like,
sure,
you're doing extremely well. You're making some really good money. And all of a sudden, it's like you have to make a choice like, okay, I'm either doing this thing or I'm quitting. Like, what was going through your head on that one? Did you have any hesitancy? Were you having any thoughts about possibly staying and doing it? Or
so when I started with the last company, my goal was to be there for 3 years, and then I was leaving. So I hit my 3-year mark in July. Right in July, ironically enough, the company comes out with, hey, we're going to mandate vaccines probably in October, at which point, I was already figuring out how I'm leaving anyway. And so the timing of it was perfect. Where crypto was powerful was I wasn't really stressing or tripping over not being employed temporarily or whatever, because I had done well enough to sustain myself for a good amount of time while I looked for whatever I wanted to do next.
Yep.
So that's the benefit of things like crypto when you do it the right way.
That's exactly where I wanted to take that convo. Is I feel like that having the skill set or the understanding of crypto, having some wins under your belt, probably some good growth as well in your finances, probably gave you a bit more confidence to say, yeah, no, I'm out of here. So you can live life on your own terms.
All the confidence.
Yep.
All of it.
And I'm a huge advocate. I don't care really how you do it, as long as it's kind of legal and ethical. But
yes.
I mean, being able to have some means of forming an income where you can live life on your own terms. And I think that's a huge piece of what I see a lot of people doing with crypto is maybe not going to school and maybe taking $500 that they earned straight out of high school and throwing it into Doge or whatever, and hoping for the best. I see a lot of people doing that. And of course, we see lots of success stories, people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars on a 1 week run of some coin and exit or whatever. Those things exist. I'm sure that there's quite a few sob stories out there too.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of sob stories, a whole bunch.
I believe it. All right. Now, as a say a busy person, let's say we got some affluent, semi-wealthy people maybe on the come up or already reached a lot of their financial goals, people that have a good chunk of disposable income, say $100,000, right? And maybe you're thinking about making an investment because obviously it's not doing any good in the bank.
Absolutely.
You're looking at maybe some treasury bonds. You're looking at the stock market. You're looking at crypto potentially. You're looking at real estate. What would your advice be to somebody that's kind of on the fence? They want to get involved with crypto. They're just not really, they don't have all the confidence that they need to say, put $100,000 in a diversified, wallet, if you will.
Yep.
What advice would you give somebody that's in that position right now?
If you had $100,000,